I'd like to thank you all for coming, residents, students, faculty, administration, members of the design and construction team who are here, and our distinguished guests who have joined us. I'd like to introduce Natalia Parkinson to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to get started.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to introduce the MHS Concert Choir under the direction of Patrick Converse, who will do the national anthem for us. Thank you, that was great. The High School Building Committee and the Design and Construction team would like to welcome you to this event. This is a major milestone for the project and deserves to be celebrated. I will admit that when the topic first came up, I really wasn't too excited about it because there's so much to be done that stopping for a ceremony seemed trivial. Paul Brannigan felt that it would be a very important thing for the project, and he was right. Actually, Monday night when we opened up the lobby for people to come and sign the beam, it was absolutely amazing. 300 or 400 people came through. Turned out it was very emotional, very positive, very exciting, and a little bit sad, as people looked around the existing building and realized that putting this beam up basically puts the nail in the coffin of this building. But overall, it's been a positive experience for those of us working on the project and for the people in the community who took the time to come out and sign the beam and have been following the progress. And right now I'd like to introduce Paul Brannigan, who's been instrumental in getting us to this point.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to one of the milestones of our new high school. Just a special thanks to everyone who is here today, from our town leaders to our state representatives, to all the families and students and faculty and staff that are here. It is really an important day for us. And as this last beam goes into the school, it really does bring back to one of the very first experiences we had of creating vision. And there's a picture in my office of actually what came out of the vision planning meetings that looks nothing more than like scribble. And then when you saw that scribble become really a rendering, and the rendering become really a map of the campus, and now seeing what it looks like behind you is every day when you drive through, it keeps changing, and the identity of the new Middleborough High School takes place. As this last piece of steel goes in, it really does have the signatures and dates of so many people who either walked these halls or future students that did. Families that came in on Monday night were everywhere from coming in to write family members who walked these halls, all the way to students who will walk the new building in the class of 2037. So when you think of actually the identity of a high school, I've always said that it is really one of the anchors of a town, and that it brings the school community together, it brings the town together. And I think as we place this beam into the building, and with all the signatures there, there's going to be many stories that go with it. And so as we close the chapter here, and that 1 year from now, we'll be getting ready to close the doors of this building for good. But as we open up the new one, the new stories that will be told, but more importantly, the stories of this building that will carry over. A few months ago, I had the opportunity with Mr. Hutchinson, our tremendous facilities director, gave me the opportunity to walk through the building and to stand in places that we talked about as a faculty about what was important for us in teaching and learning, from the collaboration spaces to the learning commons to really the hub of the school, our student commons, to an athletic center, to a performing arts center. That when you were walking in these places, in some cases there were door frames up, in some cases it was nothing but dirt, but you could start to see the identity of really what a school will become, and really what we will do as a team to be able to embark on a new journey as a school. So to the members of the community that have supported this endeavor, we're just beyond thankful, because each day as another piece of steel has gone up and the walls are coming together and the window coverings are in so they can winterize that place, it is really beginning to tell the next chapter of our school. So I just want to thank you for that. I do want to thank the Boston Tavern for what they brought to us on Monday night, because our steel and chocolate signature event, I think, allowed for a community to come together to be able to celebrate. And I think that's such an important part to this. I do want to introduce now, with just sincere thanks to our school committee. They really have allowed this high school to transform itself, and their support and their guidance and allowing us to fly has allowed our school to become, I think, incredible. And their support of having us be able to embark on this journey that is coming, we're just beyond grateful. So it's with great happiness to introduce your chair of the school committee, Mr. Richard Young.
As much as this is a celebration for us, and every event along the way becomes a celebration, it's also an opportunity to take the time and thank people who made this happen. Thank the faculty for all the work that they do in showing the townspeople why a high school is important. We thank the students for all that they do and some of what they put up with in comparison to other buildings they see as they go on other events throughout their lives as students. And especially thankful for the townspeople who truly embraced and believed in this idea of a new high school, and all along the way have showed up to events like this to show how much they still want to support it and how much they are excited about it. I want to share with you one story. So right after we got chosen to go through this process with MSBA, before anybody had been hired, before anybody had been chosen for our architect or our project manager, myself, the then Superintendent Malone, and the business manager, Kathy Piatelli, sat down with MSBA, and they sat with us and told us what to expect. They told us what would happen. They told us what the pitfalls were with other communities when going through town meetings and when going through elections, what to look for, and what to be ready for. And the one thing that they talked to us about the most was the strain that we would have to put on our principal because of the requirements of the principal to do a wide variety of things and to be able to accomplish those things because they were important. The educational plan that had to be tied into why the new building was being built, the constant documentation about why we're moving these programs here and why we're moving these programs there. And I think the proudest thing I can say is I've been through 2 buildings of new high schools. One was a complete renovation of an old high school in the district I lived in when I was chairman of the school committee there, and that was completely different. There was no project manager attached. We actually, at the time, made our shop teacher in charge of the building. It was a $12 million renovation in the early 90s. There was no money for project managers, but again, there was strain on the principals, and I saw what kind of strain that would do. But time and time again, Paul's answered those important dates and been there for this community over and over and over again. So I want to give Paul a big round of applause for that. So again, on behalf of the school committee, I can't thank this community enough for standing behind us. And we will continue to provide the oversight that we can. This project is currently under budget, and we are proud of that, and we will continue to work hard to make sure every nickel and dime is spent properly and spent in the right way for our students. So thank you very much.
I do want to add to that just really a special thanks to a team of people who came to our town, who have helped us who has guided us through this process that has been incredible. To our project management team with Christy Murphy and Compass Project Management, and of course with Scott and Angel and Bonnie, with DRA, our architectural team. They listened to every little thing that we talked about and every crazy idea, with the exception of the fireworks that I wanted, but we'll let that go. And not in the building, in the stadium. When the teams came in, I wanted fireworks, but they said no. So I suppose we have to go with that. But with every little thing that we had asked for, and the ideas, that they were always listening. And that the vision that you see in those renderings and in that building were really just every meeting and every conversation that we had, either with them in meetings or in all those planning meetings that we had as a faculty. So I'm just so grateful to all of you for what you've given to our town. So to DRA and to Compass and to Fontaine as well, just thank you so very, very much as well. And so now I want to introduce, we thought it was important that the three classes that are here, the class of 21, 22, and 23, will be the leaders that will take the pride and the spirit and the culture of this school, and they will bring it into the new one. So it would be with great honor to introduce to you the president of the class of 2021, Ms. Mandy Buchan.
My name is Mandy Buchan, and I'm the junior class president at Middleborough High School. As a part of what will be one of the first graduating classes of the new high school, I'm extremely honored to be able to speak to you all today as we get ready to say goodbye to the last beam that will go into our new school. Although a year from now we'll be getting ready to actually make that transition, one thing will always remain the same. The heart and the strength of the Sachem spirit will carry us through the transition and ensure that our first steps into the new school will be inspired by the footprints left behind. By having this beam available to be signed this week by past, present, and future Sachems, we are truly ensuring that the heart of the Middleborough Sachems will live on and continue to inspire us to become the best people that we can be in the new school. Thank you, and I'd like to introduce the sophomore class president, Owen Kidd.
Hello, I'm Owen Kidd, the president of the class of 2022. So as we make the transition into the new high school in the upcoming year, I hope for our class to academically thrive and solidify our individual roles in our new home. Our junior and senior years are arguably the most important, and finishing off the high school experience in a new school will be a major boost to our school and class spirit, carrying us into graduation. Through the windows of our current building, we see the amazing and swift progress being made, and it fills us with new motivation and desire for the future. As upperclassmen, we will help ensure that the Sachem pride we have come to embrace in the last 2 years here will continue into our new building. And now I'd like to introduce Olivia Austin, freshman class president.
My name is Olivia Austin, a freshman at Middleborough High School. Luckily for my class, we get to be a part of both schools and get the full experience of what it truly means to be a Sachem. As Sachems, we will carry over our strength and passion for our community to our brand new high school. I know that through the next 3 years, we will make the most of our time. As our school finishes, we will all continue to reflect on the amazing times and memories we made through this school. On behalf of myself, as well as the class of 2023, I believe that we are all beyond excited and ready for this change. We can't wait for our new home. Thank you.
Mandy and Owen and Olivia, and thank you so very, very much. And of course to Natalia for beginning the event. Natalia serves as our school committee rep, so at every school committee meeting, Natalia serves all of our schools and gives updates about what's going on in the district. So we're thankful for you to be here today as well, Natalia. And now I would like to introduce a really important person to our school, Representative Susan Gifford. She is such an advocate for education and a supporter of our town and of our school. She comes to every advanced placement pep rally every year and it really kicks off our year, and that through this entire process, her support and her increase of where things are happening and how they're all going, and for her to be here today is just so important for us. So I just want to welcome you to the podium.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is truly a joyous occasion, and I'm absolutely honored to be here today. But I have to tell you something funny. When I was getting ready to get this event on my calendar, I had asked Megan, my legislative aide, to please, add this to the calendar and make sure I was all checked in to attend the Middleborough High School topping off ceremony. And she looked at me and she kind of said, I hate to ask, but what's a topping off ceremony? So let this just be, feel proud that you're actually attending something that happens quite frequently. And it is a very, very special occasion. It means a lot to the people who are out there working on the project, and I know that it means a lot to everybody in this room. The dedication and the passion from all the people that have been so instrumental in this, from the building committee to the school committee to the board of selectmen to the superintendent and the principal and countless other parents and teachers and students. It's really a tribute to see the progress and know that it comes from all of your hard work. And again, I'm honored to be here. Thank you for having me, and this is a truly great day, so enjoy it.
And now I'd like to introduce a person who I've always said is the lifeblood of our school district. As a graduate and as a parent, and now the person who leads our school community, to have his voice and his love of this town and of these schools become part of the story and the narrative of that building, of our new school, is just so important. So I'd like to welcome to the podium with such pride, Mr. Brian Lynch, your superintendent.
It's my pleasure to sort of close this out, if you will. Rob DeRosa mentioned sort of the emotional piece of Monday's ceremony upstairs. And I joked with Jim Hutchinson this week about the fact that it did seem a little bit like a wake. We had a beam lying in state, encased in wood, with a tarp over it when it was downtime. And we had a whole lot of visitors that came for many, many different reasons. We had graduates from a long time ago. We had students, young people, real young, signing the beam, barely able to write their own names, but it was important for them to be here. I thought it was a great night. It was in the middle of a monsoon, but it was a great night that so many people came out to. The emotional piece is there for me also. I, like the students that just presented this evening, I walked these halls. This was my high school. I looked straight out hiding behind Mr. Dizell is Peter Wilbur. Peter Wilbur was a teacher in this building, but he also graduated with me 40 years ago, in 1979. Yes, that number was 40. But Peter and I took Russian together, we walked the halls together, we were in physics together with Mr. Couture. And I see Colleen Glevy next to Peter Wilbur, and she actually interned with Mr. Couture, my former physics teacher. But this building was new back then. And Peter and I sort of were new back then too. Not so new anymore, but with a lot of life's experiences, but with this building as sort of our connector, our common denominator, speaking to a math teacher. And I think it's the greatest common factor because this has been a great building. Produced a ton of graduates, real high quality graduates. It's been a great piece of this community and will continue to be a memory in a lot of folks and will be a vital part of this school system for another year or so. And then the excitement is across the street, and that's what today's about. Today's about sort of putting that last bone in the skeleton or the foundation of a building that will be an important part of this community for years and years to come. And the final thing I want to say is a list of folks that we need to thank. We need to thank the community of Middleborough for stepping up. The community of Middleborough knew and knows the sacrifice they'll make to build this $100 million facility for the future. So the commitment to the future from the folks of Middleborough is evident with every vote that was passed. An overwhelming majority, over 2/3 of the folks that voted that day, voted for this school, and that was important. So we thank the members of the community for making that commitment to the future of the students, the young students who aren't even born yet, some of them, many of them, most of them. I'd like to thank the Massachusetts School Building Authority. They're an important partner in this. Jack McCarthy could not make it here today, the executive director of the MSBA, but he sends along his regards. He was here at our first ceremony when we broke ground, and he had every intention of coming today, but had to reschedule something else, or his schedule got confused. So we appreciate Massachusetts School Building Authority. We certainly want to thank all our partners in this building. Compass Project Management's been mentioned before. Christy Murphy, right from the get-go, between her and Tim Bonafati, a vital part of this team, guiding us through this entire process, because it's not an easy process, and it's an important process, and we thank Christy. She's right over there. Christy, could you come out here just for a minute? Christy, give a big wave. She was a vitally important piece of this, and I've spoken with Bob Nunes, our town manager, who's sitting in the front row here, about the importance of Christy, because he's done several building projects in this community and other communities, and he has said to me on a number of occasions, Christy's work has been invaluable to this project. I think we all agree, and we owe you a debt of gratitude. Thank you very much. We thank DRA and the team of designers that have worked with us throughout this whole project and continue to work with us. And they are present here today. I think we have them. Where are the designers? Where's the design team? Could you please stand up? That's our design team in the back. And thank you all very much, and those designers that have worked in the past with us from DRA. We thank Fontaine Brothers Construction. We're going to go see some of those folks in a few minutes. But for actually building this building and bringing in subcontractors and making sure this building, and I've seen that commitment. I attend the construction meetings every single week from 11 to 1. Sometimes it goes a little bit later. But those are important meetings, and we hear from those people. And you can hear the commitment in the room. It's out in the trailer out there, and it's just a commitment that you just feel it when you're in the room. Everyone's committed to this project, and we thank them. And sort of finally, I want to thank the students. Those students who spoke today, those students who were in the orchestra played today, the students who sang the national anthem, and the students who are going to be out there, the band students who are waiting in the back, who are going to come out and play a little Hail to the Varsity when we put the final beam up. So without further ado, now comes the grand moment when we're all going to walk outside, but I'm not going to close this out when I come back in. I would invite you all come back in and enjoy some topping off of the cupcakes when we're done. So if you want to head outside, we're going to get this done. Thank you all very much for coming. Appreciate it.
The Christmas tree is there for good luck, or the tree is there for good luck on the beam. And obviously the American flag is there. So proud of you. Jeff Gleason used to say, and away we go. Everyone is welcome back inside with some treats. Thank you, Fontaine Brothers.